Hello, I'm back. This is Monday, October 31st, 2016. I'm reading Pima Chodron's, again, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, forgive me. I'm reading her Comfortable with Uncertainty book, and I wanted to note a few passages. This is a quote. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. That's from page 166. And then I've got a longer snippet, The 6 Ways to be Lonely. Number 1, less desire is the willingness to be lonely without resolution, when everything in us yearns for something to change our mood. Number 2, contentment means that we no longer believe that escaping our loneliness is going to bring happiness or courage or strength. Number 3, avoiding unnecessary activities means that we stop looking for something to entertain us or to save us. Number 4, complete discipline means that at every opportunity, we're willing to come back to the present moment with compassionate attention. Number 5, not wandering in the world of desire is about relating directly with how things are without trying to make them okay. Number 6, not seeking security from one's discursive thoughts, means no longer seeking the companionship of constant conversation with ourselves. And all that was from page 168 through 169. So I really start getting into a bunch of self-discovery and shadow work here in this next bit. Friday, November 4th, 2016, Soulwork, and this Loner Wolf website, I'll make sure and make a more prominent note about this. This website was really helpful to me in the beginning. I had been studying psychology for a while. So some of this stuff came kind of intuitively to me, but, or came kind of naturally to me, this kind of work, this shadow work and self-inquiry and everything. My personality, like I said, maybe in my introduction, I just have always tended to be a kind of introspective person. So when I found this website, the lonerwolf.com, it really resonated with me a lot. And because it talked all about spiritual development, shadow work, self-inquiry, really digging deep into our, psyche and subconscious and learning to understand ourselves better. So this was kind of a pivotal point for me, all these articles that I was reading on this website. And I think that this next snippet, actually, it's not a snippet, it's a lot of stuff. This next bit, I think, comes from that website, although I didn't make a note of that. But now that I'm publishing stuff, I want to give credit where it's due. So, okay, so Friday, November 4th, 2016, Soulwork, starting the process. So, Soulwork, I'm guessing I got this from one of the articles. It's comprised of self-discovery, and I add in my own little notes to this too. So part of this is my own thoughts, and part of it is kind of an outline of what soul work is according to the Loner Wolf website. So it's self discovery, which is looking at your personality, strengths, weaknesses, gifts, life purpose, beliefs, inner wounds, the parts, inner child work, and archetypes. And then I have notes next to it, kind of looking at my own stuff. HSP, which is highly sensitive person, question mark. And I put yes. Empath, yes. Intuitive, yes. And then I also note that I am an INFJ. And I am a Scorpio. So soul work, in addition to self-discovery, soul work also is comprised of core beliefs and core wounds, self-love and authenticity, shadow work, soul communication, self-inquiry, meditation, and mindfulness are under the self-inquiry heading. I have some notes on self-hypnosis tips that I got from this website, and the procedure. I don't think I'm going to read that. Discovering the core wounds. I will read this though. I'm not going to read the self-hypnosis stuff because I didn't really get into that. It looked interesting and I thought that I might, and so I wrote it down so that I would have the procedure, but I don't think I ever really got into that. But self-discovery or discovering core wounds. Beforehand, ensure you are at a point in your life where you are not too stressed out. Must have already worked on developing a sense of self-awareness. Must be at a point in your life where you have begun to learn how to love and take care of yourself. So, this is a side note. As you'll see as I go along, I start doing a bunch of this work, but as you'll see, I didn't really have these tips that I just read, ensuring that you've already gotten to a place where you're kind of self-aware and able to love and take care of yourself. I wasn't there at this point. So this process dragged out for me for quite a while. Even up until now, the present moment, I'm like literally just getting to the point where I am actually feeling self-love. So what was this? November 2016. So, it's been like maybe a 3-year process, from when I started doing this kind of deep inner work to now, to where I'm actually finally starting to feel some of this self-love and everything. So that's an interesting side note. But I wanted to note that now, because if you're listening to this current stuff, I want you to understand that this work takes a long time. At least for me, it took or has been taking a long time. It's not easy. It's very difficult work. So just know that if you're attempting this kind of work for yourself, go easy on yourself. If you can't muster self-love, go easy on yourself. It's hard. It's hard if you're coming from a place where you don't have that. Learning to feel that for yourself can be really difficult, and it's a process. But it can happen, and it will happen if you put the work in. Just understand that it's not necessarily going to happen overnight. not for everybody anyway. And that was the case for myself. It took a long time. So that was discovering core wounds. So uncovering core beliefs. Start with I statements. Supporting beliefs. The supporting beliefs uphold the core beliefs. Are beliefs that we hold about others in relation to ourselves. For example, she doesn't care about me. So a core belief is a belief that you hold about yourself, but a supporting belief is a belief that you hold about other people that confirms your core belief. That was just a side note. I was trying to explain it better because my notes on here might not make very good sense, but think about or journal thoughts about self and others, then ask why. Why is that so important? Why is that so bad? Keep digging until you reach a core belief. Be brutally honest with yourself. Whenever you experience a flux in emotion, pay attention. Before going to sleep, be aware of what your thoughts dwell on. Some core beliefs fluctuate with emotion, but pay special attention to the ones that emerge even when you aren't feeling emotional. So uncovering core wounds / beliefs. Number 1, excuse me. Use your feelings as an anchor. When feeling a negative emotion in the moment, latch on and use it to dig deeper. Keep asking why. Number 2, somatic bodily mindfulness. Periodically scan the body for tension or illness, or if you spontaneously feel tension, start inquiring why. Best if you have already mastered a relaxed body and not constantly tense. And number 3, solitude and introspection. Journaling can be helpful in reflecting on your day and taking note of any uncomfortable events. Then start the inquiry, why? Can do free writing or draw diagrams, whatever works best. So this is saying that there are three ways that you can start uncovering these core beliefs. One is, notice when you have a strong feeling that comes up and then start inquiring into it. Number 2 is paying attention to your body and be mindful of places of tension within your body. And number 3 is solitude and introspection. This is more intentional, self-inquiry, purposefully digging. Instead of waiting until an emotion comes up, this is purposefully, consciously going in and digging around and looking to see what's there. So I don't know if I should make a note of this right now. I feel like I should. So this somatic body mindfulness thing is I haven't written any context to that, but as I've progressed through this journey, I have become aware that our emotion, everything is energy, right? So our emotions can, with these core wounds and traumas and everything, our emotions can get stuck as energy masses within our body. So I've noticed that this is a good way to discover that something is amiss, is if you really feel into your body, you can feel these dense, energetic blockages. And they can present themselves as physical ailments or, tension, illness, stuff like that. So paying attention to the body is a really good tool as well. Anyway, okay. So now I start going into my own. So those were just notes on how to start going into this kind of work from that article, but now I start doing my own. Inner child work. I have a column and the heading is Dad. And then my list: physical abuse, emotional abuse, witnessing Nathan being abused. Nathan is my twin brother. Emotional neglect, unrealistic expectations, unspoken expectations, second-class daughter. Nathan and I were the bastard kids. So this is me looking at stuff with my dad when I was a kid. And then with my mom, and then I'll just keep continuing down, actually. So these factors that had to do with my dad lead to... I'm trying to find my core beliefs and core wounds in this work. So these factors with my dad lead to not enough, that not feeling good enough. No matter how hard I tried to make him proud or love me, it didn't work. Helplessness, fear, lots of fear. I became the peacemaker. With my mom, and I separate these because if you listened to any of the backstory videos, or if you didn't listen to any of those, my mom and dad were never really together. They never got married. So I grew up with my mom, but visited my dad on occasion. So I had two very different experiences growing up with my parents. The experiences that I had with my dad were completely different and separate from the experiences that I had with my mom, who raised us for the most part. So for my mom, there was emotional instability, role reversal, having to emotionally support her, poor role model for emotional resilience, and Nathan got more attention. He got more I'll just make a note. He got more attention because that sounds kind of whiny. He got more attention because he was just a little bit... He had higher needs than I did. I was easier, I guess. He had ADD, and so for a single mom with twins, he kind of just demanded more attention than I did. And so that's why I wrote Nathan got... excuse me. That's why I wrote Nathan got more attention. And all of this led to didn't learn healthy ways to handle stress, didn't have a role model for self-esteem, self-compassion, or emotional stability. Nathan's needs were more important than mine. I had to be the one to take care of others and myself. And here are more notes from the Loner Wolf website. This is about inner child work, the process of contacting, understanding, embracing, and healing your inner child. To heal, we must earn the trust of our inner child through love and self-nurturing. Number 1, speak to your inner child. Make contact. Acknowledge their presence in who you are now. Give words of compassion and understanding. Delve deep. Ask questions. Number 2, get a good mental image. Look at pictures. Use this image of yourself as a child in your inner child work. Number 3, rediscover who you were as a child. What activities did you like to do? What were your relationships like? Good memories, painful memories, dreams for the future. Take time to incorporate some of your favorite childhood activities into your adult life. Number 4, do an inner journey. Must have gained the trust of your inner child first before you do this. Create a safe spot in your mind. Enter this safe place. Invite your inner child to join you. Greet, hug, and thank the child for coming. Ask your question. Thank and hug again, and say goodbye, and then exit the safe place. So that was inner work to discover core wounds and inner child work. So I'm going to stop here, and I will be back with you shortly.